How's it going out there? You're watching this on a tape delay. It's kind of post-apocalyptic. Date is September 9th, and there is a lot of smoke up in the air. So, Jordan, so it looks like something just fairly the apocalypse. So we'll get started right away. I know it was a super late change. So, Jamie, as far as the time goes, and I think actually a lot of people are in school right now. But as always, we record all these. What's up, Maddy? Record all these, so it's an opportunity for you to watch them later if you can't watch it now. And then also we're in the process of putting them up all on for podcasts. What's up, Christian? On Spotify, Apple Music, and whatnot. So what's up, Kim? Let's get it. Yeah, the sky is orange. Let's get after it. Maddy, you can just join. Hopefully. What's up, Pablo? It should be at the bottom. There you go. Sweet. I'm super excited about this one. Caught up with Coach Maddy. Should be fun. What's up, Noah? And we're good.
Perfect.
What's up?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Good.
How'd it go?
Oh, it went well. We won 3-1, 3-1, and it was the team that was third in the league. So that was like a really big win for us, and it puts us in like a really good position. So
Wait. Well, how far into the season are you guys?
we are almost done. I have 5 games left now.
Okay. How many games is the season? Is it like home and away? Like most
Yeah,
European leagues or?
games. So it's around like 22, I think.
Okay. So there's 12 teams in league.
I think so.
All right. So for those who don't know, Maddy, agility coach, she is in Iceland right now. This is part of the reason why we're doing this at 2. She's playing pro over in Iceland. So we're going to talk about that and talk about kind of your upbringing and, yeah, go from there. But let's go back into the Iceland thing. So you have 12 teams that are in your league, correct?
hmm
Okay. Where are you guys on the table right now?
So so we're kind of like a Cinderella story right now. So we started off dead last, like we were not winning games. It was pretty unfortunate. And with COVID and everything, we were going from like quarantining together to like having to like get like 3 workouts in and then going to games and having a crammed schedule. Like right now, because of COVID, we are currently playing a game every 3 days, which is
Nuts.
kind of insane on the body. And there's so many strict subbing rules. So it's just like you don't sub. You're going
Yeah.
to play 90-minute player if you're starting.
Dang.
And so now we are kind of like rising on top. We're getting on the streak. So we were at last. We moved up because we beat a team a couple days ago, 1 spot. So now I think because of our win today, because they were so high up, we're going to bump up like 3 or 4 spots now.
Sweet. Is there
Yeah.
playoffs in Iceland or no? Is it just table standing?
There's like a cup that goes on simultaneously. So that's why so there's 10 teams in our league, but you get like around 22 games because you're also, not only are you playing in league, but you're also playing in what's called the cup. So you're playing everybody around 3 times.
Cool.
And we unfortunately just got knocked out of it, but it's okay. It was still a really good game. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, we'll go back to Iceland. Let's rewind a little bit though. Well, let's start about you. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Santa Rosa, California.
Okay, what club team do you play for?
Santa Rosa United.
Your whole career?
Yeah, I always played there. I was really lucky that my like home field was like 5 minutes away from my house and
Perfect.
went to high school with like all of my teammates.
Got it. Was that when you were there? Was that ECNL program
Yeah,
or was it
we
just
started ECNL my sophomore year of high school, I think.
okay? Did you notice a big difference when you guys changed to ECNL
Oh,
or
yeah. I thought it was just like you're going from like playing a variety of like skill levels on when tournaments when you enter them to every time you play a game, whether it's league or whether it's like an event such as like San Diego or Dallas or something. It was intense. Like it felt like every game was a championship level game because now you have college coaches lining up about all your games. It's like you're performing in front of the crowd every time.
I haven't heard that, but just thinking about it, that makes a lot of sense as like a description as like one of the top level leagues. Like no
Mm-hmm.
question, there will be some top teams outside of the top level leagues,
Mm-hmm.
but at the top leagues, like just the overall quality is just going to be higher.
Yeah.
Very cool. Do you have any special memories from your youth soccer?
I would say
Like maybe best goal or something, or like a moment or tournament?
I'd say so. my team worked really, really hard to go what ECNL hosts like the final eight in Virginia. And we were playing in Seattle in order to like we had to win this last game in order to get to Virginia. And we finally pulled it off. We had been trying for like 3 years in a row. And we could never just win that final game. And to just like it was going into like our senior year of high school. So it was our last shot. And just for all of us to like lay it out on the line and finally like just give ourselves that chance to compete in the top 8 teams in the nation in Virginia was just probably the best experience. And when you go there, it's insane. Like all the 8 teams are in one room and you do the draw right there and then in front of your faces. And it's just so scary because everyone's kind of like oohing and awing when they see the bracket get released.
Dang, sounds like that's awesome. So there was
Yeah.
an top 8 teams in the U.S.
Yeah.
Playing this like finals championship, and this was in Virginia the year you
Yeah.
guys made it. How'd that go?
It went okay. It was kind of unfortunate. Like our very first game, one of our like best defenders got a red card, and that kind of set the tone of the rest of the tournament from there. We did tie the previous like back-to-back champions, so that was kind of like a win in itself because no one really expected this small town Santa Rosa team to go in and tie the national championship champions.
Cool. Sounds like a
Yeah.
very cool experience.
Yeah.
What position do you play in club?
In club, I played either like a left wing / forward or attacking mid or center forward. Changed.
Okay. How did you end up at Santa Clara?
So I ended up at Santa Clara. I was just playing, I think, just some random league game at Trioni, which is Santa Rosa United's home field, and just happened that Curtis, who is one of the coaches at Santa Clara, was watching my game, and then he reached out to me, and from there, I just kind of had that attraction to Santa Clara because it's close to my home. I knew my parents could go there. I really liked Jerry as a coach because I had experienced him through ODP before. He was an ODP coach before I even was considering going to college. And so I think having like a taste of what he's like as a coach was a huge draw for me because that's a big decision where you're going to go for the next 4 years and you want to be happy with not just the school but also the coaching. And so it was kind of an easy decision for me.
Got it. What year were you when you got recruited, when you made that decision?
It was the summer of my freshman year going into sophomore year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for women especially, but they typically get recruited earlier, especially with the former rules. There's new rules now, so it pushes everything back a little bit.
Yeah.
Were you looking at other schools at that time, or no? Was it just kind of like that just kind of come and you're like, cool school, like close to home, soccer program and coach I like boom, done deal.
Yeah, I would say the other school I was looking at that I was taking pretty seriously was Colorado, just because it's Colorado. It's like Pac-12, big school, like it's so exciting. But in the end, Santa Clara it was clear for me.
Got it. Very cool. Describe your time at Santa Clara.
Oh, it was amazing. I wish I could do it all over again. For me, it doesn't even feel real that I'm actually done with it. I still kind of think when I'm done with Iceland, yeah, I'm going back to Santa Clara, but it's not the case. It was so fun. I think my most memorable part of being at Santa Clara was my freshman year because we went to the Elite Eight when nobody thought that we were going to do it, especially when you have Stanford as your second game in the tournament. Everyone at Stanford, by the way. So the odds are just not in your favor. So when we happened to beat Stanford, that just really set the tone for my freshman year. It was amazing and just kind of an unbeatable memory. I'll always hold on to that.
Very cool. What position did you play at Santa Clara?
I played, again, I kind of moved around. Center forward was probably my main one, but I also played a little bit of attacking mid and even out wide.
Okay. So similar, but yeah, okay. What were the main differences, would you say, between going from you guys pretty dominant, sounds like youth experience. I mean, Santa Rosa is a smaller club, but going to the final 8, you guys must have been pretty solid. And then going to obviously a powerhouse soccer school like Santa Clara, like what was the difference going from club to college, especially like a high level D1 school?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference too was one, the pace. You like nothing's going to prepare you for the pace of when you enter like collegiate level soccer. Just because
What do you mean by pace? Like the speed that people move, the ball speed,
all
everything?
like the ball speed specifically because you really have to know what you're going to do with the ball before you get it. Like people would always tell you that when you're younger, like have like vision, like know what's around you. But in college, like that will help you so much because not only are you competing with like your team, but like the teams against you. These are just some of the best athletes in the country, and so you just have to be really prepared. And especially the physicality is different too. You're playing against girls who are 4 years older than you, especially when you're a freshman. And some of them, especially if you're a smaller player like me, I'm playing against some girls who are probably 6'2". And it's just a huge reality check. You have to really change your game from when you're going from club playing girls strictly in your age group to opening up the age group and a variety of different players. You have to change yourself to make it better for your teammates and to make yourself a better player. I had to change my game in so many different ways, but I think it worked out.
I would agree. What would be, so that's some good information. How about like we work with a ton of high school age players.
Yeah.
Like what would you recommend girls in high school that wants to play collegiate soccer at a high level? What should they be spending a lot of time focusing on? Yeah, on and off the field.
I would say just keep like going out on your own and touching the ball. As long as you do that, like you're never going to lose your touch. You're always going to be on top of it. And just the more you go out on your own and work on things, like it's just going to put you like in so many like positions ahead of everybody else. Because as soon as you kind of slack off, that's when you fall behind. And that's not a habit you should be getting into, because even when you're in college and you think you've made it, you still need to be pushing yourself. Like me and my teammates, we'd all go out after practice or before practice and work on our own, or on off days, we'd work on our own, because everybody else is trying to compete for the same thing. And so you got to keep yourself at like the same level or higher. Like the ceiling is just limitless. You can't ever just settle.
Got to keep pushing, keep getting
Yeah.
after it mentality. All right, so you were at Santa Clara, successful career there. Now, how did you end up in Iceland?
So I signed with an agency after I graduated. They're called Upper V. And I
Did
also,
somebody recommend you to do this, or you just like, hey, I want to play pro? Like, did the coaches help you through this, or?
so once you graduate, like sometimes like agents will reach out to you, because you don't talk to agents while you're a college athlete. That's illegal. Just saying that. But after, they can reach out to you. Also to you'll have teammates who have signed with previous agencies before, and you just get in touch with them. And it's also really good to talk to your older teammates, your alumni, because they're also so helpful. Like that's what I did too. Like I had to ask around just to make sure that I was doing what's best for myself. And so Upper V was what's best for me. I also had known him through club soccer before. He coached at Mustang when I was a little girl, so I knew him. And also, what connected me to Iceland was a previous teammate, Gudrun Arnadottir. She played for my school my first 2 years, and so she got in touch with these coaches before I even knew about it too. So that's kind of like what drew me to Iceland. And Iceland's also a very good league, so to be able to jump into like the premier division as a rookie is a big deal. So I was quick to take the advantage of this opportunity.
So you're interested in Iceland. Did you go on trial? Um,
I just, they
Signed?
signed me. Yeah.
They signed you just straight up.
Yeah.
So, like, did you have opportunity to go on trial anywhere, or no? It was just kind of like, all right, you're just gonna go and
There was
play.
also an opportunity in Italy for Fiorentina, but with COVID, that was like the first place that got
That's
hit.
true.
So that just didn't happen, which it also would have been a great opportunity. Italy's amazing, but just wasn't the right time.
Got it. You're in Iceland. You're playing pro. You just finished in Santa Clara. What's the difference between playing pro professionally in Europe versus college soccer here on the women's side?
Well, I would say on the ball, it's pretty similar from what I've been seeing. You're playing against girls who have previously played in the States at big schools, and like the age difference too, it just gets bigger. Like you're just playing against even more experienced girls, and even really young girls who are just looking to go straight into pro. So it's a quite the variety of people. But I would say this the level of play is pretty similar to college. But the major difference that I don't think anyone really can prepare you for too is when you're a college athlete, everything's done for you. Like you have a recovery plan with your coaches, you have just like meal plans, like everything's handed to you because that's just how it goes in college. But when you're a professional, you're an adult now. You have to do a lot of things on your own as well. While the club does provide some like recovery and like workouts for you to do after games and certain foods to eat, you're still on your own for a lot of the time. And I think this is a huge growing up time for me because I was so used to like day of the game. I show up like to we usually do like a walkthrough or some type of movement before, but we
This is
don't
at
do
this is at college, in college.
yeah, in college,
Yeah.
we would have to walk through just to get yourself moving throughout the day. And I remember like one of my first games here is our games are at like 7 p.m. And so you're doing nothing the whole day. And I remember I almost like slept in like really late. And then I had to go to my game and my legs had never felt so like jello-y because I wasn't used to like no one telling me like, oh, you should go do this like a few hours before the game. So that was like a quick reality check. Like, okay, I needed to make my own schedule now. And so I think that was like one of the major differences too, was like being pampered in college with like everyone kind of babying you, having these all laid out to really entering adulthood now.
Much more independent, it sounds like. You're in control of your own everything.
Mm-hmm.
Santa Clara is like, oh, meal card. It's like, go to practice, go to Benson, and then whatever, go to class. There, it's like practice, and then you have the day free. Like, okay, what am I going to do the rest of the day?
Yeah.
So do you think balancing your schedule, like what are some keys that you found for somebody making that transition that have worked for you?
I found that yeah, what's really nice is having a roommate who is also going through the same thing. It's her first year playing pro. So we have this like a little routine where we go get coffee in the morning. We try to get up before like 11 before 10 a.m. just so our body's used to being awake. You're not like groggy before it's game time. So we're up by like 10. We go get coffee, go on like a little short walk. Luckily, we live by the harbor, so we have like a little nice oceanside view when we walk outside of our apartment. Just walk like maybe half a mile to the coffee shop and back, and then just try to stay awake, watch some film on the team that we're playing, and then usually one of us will take a nap or make lunch, and then it's game time. But like you have to kind of like pinpoint what you're going to do throughout the day, because when you don't, at least for me, someone who is trying to really make a schedule for herself, because I've always been very reliable on like a coach or somebody else to make it for me. So right now, just having a schedule is so, so helpful.
Schedule, and basically you're talking about like an accountability partner.
Yeah,
Somebody
exactly.
like, yeah, this is got it. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Have you guys had any chance to play against any other European teams outside of Iceland, or with COVID, is everything kind of like shut off? What's going on?
Usually they do. Like I think before COVID happened, we were supposed to go to Spain and play some teams, but because of COVID, not allowed to go. But I know previously the winner of this league would usually go play like PSG or somebody. So unfortunate this year that can't happen, but pretty cool that you can still have play against some of like one of the greatest clubs in the world.
Very cool. Very cool. Outside of soccer, Iceland, what's it like? I mean,
Oh,
like everyone thinks it's just like gorgeous and like there's hot springs everywhere. And
yeah.
what's it like actually being there though?
Oh, it's really great, and I think for my first time like really living abroad, Iceland's probably the place to be because English is also their second language, so everyone can understand me, which is really nice because when you go into somewhere and especially in a soccer environment and no one speaks English, that's kind of a bit of a struggle, but it's been an easy transition here. There's always something to do. There's always like hiking trails, walking trails, hot springs are everywhere, I will say it. Really true. Also, waterfalls are everywhere. It's just super scenic. Like everything is so different from the United States, from at least where I live. Um, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, so I've gone and seen a bunch of like the touristy Game of Thrones scenes where they filmed them. So it's a lot to do. You're never bored.
Sounds fun. What city are you in?
I'm right outside of Reykjavik.
Okay. How many people are in the city you're in? Is it like
Oh,
it's like it's a suburb of the capital?
yeah, I'd say so. It's very small. Like I live right next to downtown, and you see the same people every day. Like
Dang.
I have like a bright yellow coat that I wear to keep me warm because we're entering winter and I'm not prepared for that. But people just like, oh, I saw you the other day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember you too because there's only like 100 people. Yeah.
That's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're wrapping up the season. Do you have thoughts about going forward? Like, do you feel like you're gonna stay? You're gonna like, what's next for Maddy?
Yes, this is the tough part because I really love where I am too, and so I want to keep playing for sure. But it's just like where to next is the hard question. Like I love it here so much, but I don't you never know how long like your pro experience is going to be. So it's the question of whether do I want to experience something else, go abroad somewhere, or do I want to stay here where I know like I can grow and like with these players and this team and just like have some more chemistry. So it's kind of like I'm torn because I do love it here and I didn't expect to be so in love with like my teammates, like the program and just my overall experience because I was a complete nervous wreck the day before I had to fly to Iceland because it's just such a big move.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I am very torn, but I'm very optimistic about my next opportunity and where I'll end up.
I'm excited. I'm excited to hear where you end up. There's a lot of opportunities available. So real quick, what would you recommend for a college player that wants to play pro? Like, what are the things they should be focusing on now? Kind of, we talked about the high school piece. Now, how about the college players that want to get to that next level?
Yeah, I would say just like keep working super hard, improve. I think one of the big things for me is like when I was approaching my senior year too, it's not about like trying to develop new skills or new tricks or trying to become somebody you're not. Really focus on what you're good at. So you're in college already, like you're about to enter pro. Focus on like the say for me, for example, my coach told me focus on your finishing. That's what you're good at. You're good in the attack. You're really good at 1v1s. Work on that and make that like the skill that they can't refuse. So like when scouts are looking at you, they're going to notice that you're really good at 1v1s or they're going to notice that you're really good at shooting. So take that your like most important skill that you have and just emphasize it even more. Just make it so undeniably good.
I like that. We've heard that. I think some variations of that a couple times. I remember
Yeah.
one. Coach Lloyd said, um, "What do you do different? Like, what makes the coach have to play you? You know,
Yeah.
maybe you're super fit, or you're really good at 1v1s, or you just score, or you just win every ball around you. Like, what differentiates you from the pack?"
Yeah.
Um, cool. Well, Maddy, I appreciate this. Congrats on the last two games, two dubs, right?
Yeah.
Um, Finished out the season strong. You have 5 games left.
Yeah. 5 games left.
Cool. Finish out the season strong, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you when you get back in the Bay.
Sweet. Thanks.
All right, Maddie. Good luck. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.